What's going on? And welcome to QVO Games. My name is Juan. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it so much. This video is going to be about the games coming to retail the week of April 14th. We have a great lineup of games. These games are all very diverse in what they have to offer, so I'm really excited to tell you about them just because each and every one just seems very different this week. One's not like the other, and I'm I'm really excited to tell you about them. I want to start the video by mentioning something that I have been asked for the last, I think, almost 2-3 months through either email or a DM on Instagram or TikTok. People are asking me if I can do Kickstarter coverage on the channel. Unfortunately, I do not do Kickstarter coverage currently, only because we have so many other content creators who do amazing coverage on Kickstarters. Specifically weekly, Adam over at Shelf Clutter does a weekly video covering all the games coming to crowdfunding. I say Kickstarter, I said Kickstarter before. It's crowdfunding now. I'm so used to way back when it was only Kickstarter, but then other crowdfunding platforms were coming out and doing their own thing. So Adam over at Shelf Clutter does a great weekly video. I'm going to put a link to his channel down below and check out his videos. He does great coverage, and he even does one-ofs and explains specific games every week as well. And a couple of that if you're interested in a specific game and not watching the whole video. However, watch the whole video. They're great. It's great coverage, and you can know what games from crowdfunding are coming up. And then when you want your games coming to retail, you come back to here. Let's get this video going. Keep in mind, I'm covering the games coming to retail in the US. Also keep in mind, if a game's retail release date changes, I'll make sure to update you about that change in its new respective video. Let's show off some games. First things first, coming out to you on April 15th is going to be 10 Days in the USA by the Op. Interesting game. It seems like a lighter base game, honestly, but I'm excited to explain this to you. In this game, you're basically building out your itinerary, and you're kind of building out a road trip essentially, right? Your itinerary on a road trip. You're trying to get a full trip going with 10 days, and that includes going by jet, going by car, strolling on foot. You have to strategize your route and arrange the destination transportation cards with ingenious planning. And you win the game by setting up your route and destination from point A all the way to point, I want to say B, but you go all the way down. You go to 10 different places. So it's all the way following down the line. Coming down here, I'm going to show you some pictures here. So I want to explain to you a little bit here what's going on. So essentially, let's say you start off your trip in Washington and you need to get to New Mexico, right? So specific forms of transportation are going to give you the option to arrange that. On your turn, all you're doing is drawing a card, replacing the card on your little itinerary holder here. It's like a little tray, right? I hope you can see that. It's kind of small. And it shows all your 10 days, right? Day 1, day 2, and how you're going to get there. So you take a day to travel and take a day to get there. But as you're building your route, you have to keep in mind you also need the transportation to get there. There is luck involved in the game because you have to draw into what you need and look for it. But I think it's interesting and a really cool puzzle to work around because you're going to essentially, I was explaining an example earlier. Here we go. From Washington to New Mexico, let's say you need from Washington to Mexico, you're going to need to be able to jump 2 different states. So a specific form of transportation will help you do so. So you have to arrange that. So if you're walking, you're not really allowed to jump 2 states. You have to make sure when you're walking from one state to another, you're arranging them when they're right next to each other. So as you're drawing cards and trying to find out how to plan your route, your whole goal is to achieve your 10-day itinerary. And after you do that, you call it out, you present it, and if it makes sense and it equates, you are the winner of the game. Interesting take on the game. I really, really think this puzzle that this game's going to provide is going to be a lot of fun. However, I'm excited to try it out when hopefully I can get a copy, or hopefully I can play a friend's copy, only because I'm currently on a buying freeze. I'm trying to make sure I play my games and enjoy my games now before I purchase or pick up any more games. 10 Days in the USA by the Op, coming out to you on April 15th. Coming up next is going to be Evil Corp by Le Botejou, coming out to you on April 17th. Evil Corp. Evil Corp is going to be a bag building head-to-head style game. In this game, I'm going to scroll down for you for some pictures. You're going to have the board. You're going to be playing head-to-head. You have your little player board here and your player board over here, and you're going to have your minions and monsters you have that you're going to be placing. Your whole goal is to terrorize the villages, and you want to terrorize them to get points, and the person to score enough points wins the game after that. You do so by collecting these monsters that you're going to add to your bag, and you're going to shake up your bag, pull out the monster, and those are the ones you're going to be using to play out. And as you play them out, of course, each monster has a different value or a different type of effect that you're going to do against your opponent. And your whole goal, like I said, is to terrorize the village. On top of that, of course, there's a little market in the middle where you're going to be picking up your tiles. But in the villages themselves, there's going to be tokens you can collect, and these, well, they're more like meeples. Tokens, meeples. I think they're more like, like tokens, I guess. And they're going to be using them to do different effects. They're going to help you do different things. There's also resources and such, stuff like that. The game looks interesting. There's plenty of coverage out already. I would definitely check it out. If you don't like head-to-head style games, definitely consider that. You're going to be having either 2v2s or 1v1s. I did not look into the 2v2 format of the game. I just looked into the 1v1, but apparently the 2v2 actually changes up the game quite a bit, which could be interesting. I'm explaining more the 1v1 side of things, right? The player versus just the head-to-head one. And yeah, it's pretty much it. The Evil Corp game, it looks like an interesting one. Looks really cool. I'm not sure. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what everyone else thinks about it. But the biggest thing is this is a great video by Monique over from Before You Play, and explains the game thoroughly and even the 2v2 section of it. It's a great video. I would recommend checking it out. This is Evil Corp by Hachette and Lebotiju, coming out to you on April 17th. Coming up next, we have Strato by Helvetic. I am so sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Helvetic, I think that's how you say that. Coming out to you on April 17th. So, Strato, this game is very interesting. I actually could not find a rulebook for the game, unfortunately. I was looking everywhere trying to find a rulebook, so I'm going to explain to you from what I got from the pictures and everything else. It's a cooperative game, so in this game, you are basically just trying to arrange weather cards in the game, and you have scenarios that you're going to go through. When you're arranging the scenarios, it all provides a different puzzle. Think like example of when you have like one of those puzzles with blocks, and your whole goal is to essentially move a specific block to a specific section to win, right? You get to like move a block to move another block to do another block to move this block down to move it to the left. You're trying to get the block in a specific section. Think of like a puzzle like that, but now change that up into cards and arranging the cards in a specific way. That's what I got from the explanations. And the interesting part is there's also Strato offers like a bunch of scenarios. So as you play through, you're playing through scenarios, and also offers a level of difficulty. So you can change difficulty depending on how hard you want to play it. I like that. I like games like this a lot, actually. Specific even games that include some level of like logic and deduction. Strato doesn't have deduction, but you definitely need to strategize and really think. I do love a game with a very good puzzle, right? And I think Strato is basically more like anything, a puzzle style game. Each scenario offers a different style puzzle and a different challenge. I really enjoy that. That's what I got out of it from the game itself. And I am really interested. And apparently, Sophia Wagner, who designed the game, does other games that are very similar to this. And I'm like, that seems kind of cool. I have not heard about these games nor this publishing company ever. So I'm kind of excited to check out more of their titles, which you can find at the bottom of the webpage, by the way. This is going to be Strato by Helvetic, coming out to you on April 17th. Coming up next, we have Harmonies, coming out to you on April 19th. By Libelud. I'm going to say Libelud, and I'd be saying that wrong as well. But this is coming out to you on April 19th. Harmonies actually is another game that, like I said at the beginning of the video, these games are all just very different. In this game, you're going to be using tile placement and pattern development when you play the game. I'm going to scroll down for some pictures. Great video, by the way. I think the video is okay, actually. It explains the game a little bit, but I don't think it really captures what the game's all about. Just watch it anyways. It's a great video. It's really well done. I just don't think it explains the game properly. As you go, you're going to be having your specific cards. If you look behind this middle picture here, you're going to be collecting these cards that are going to give you specific little tiles, I guess little token pieces. And these token pieces are going to go on your board, which is shown on the picture on the far right. You're going to adapt this, and each time you draft a card with the specific tiles, you're going to be placing them on your board in a specific fashion that is already laid out for you on the tile. So on the card. So when you bring it over, if it's like a triangle shape, you have to put it on your board with that triangle shape. And as you do so, you're doing that to attract different animals to your habitat, which is going to be your player board, and you're putting these tiles down. You're going to be placing these down in a way that gets you points, right? And there's going to be patterns and such, pattern development going on, and that's your whole entire goal. This actually shows a better example here, this shifting picture here. I thought this game looks fairly interesting. It kind of does give me a lot of vibes from other games, like a lot of other games. There's so many, Azul even, but different. Not exactly like it, just different. And it's going to be, it looks cool, it looks interesting. This is Harmonies, and if you enjoy games like similar to Azul or other tile placement games with some patterns development involved, I recommend checking this out. Harmonies coming up to you on April 19th by Libelud. Coming up next, we have The Sibling Trouble by Pencil First Games coming up to you on April 19th. This is going to be the expanded deluxe edition. So Siblings Trouble is a game that Pencil First came out with on crowdfunding a while back ago. It's one of their first titles, and now they're kind of bringing the game back with a deluxeified edition that comes with the expansion and sort of some deluxeified components. So when I was watching some videos and trying to really learn about Siblings Trouble, so I can explain it to you, what I got out of the game, it's almost like, imagine, like, I call it almost like an intro to Dungeons and Dragons, but it kind of avoids the theater of the mind aspect a little bit, very small. So in a RPG setting, right, you're sitting around a table and there's a game master explaining the game to you, explaining the story, etc., right, what's going on. The thing about Someone's Trouble, it kind of adds more tactical gameplay to it, right? You have cards, you have dice, and you have dice in RPG style games as well, right? But in this game, you have more like the cards are explaining the story. As you roll the dice, different things happen, similar to an RPG. And the whole game is basically a storytelling adventure, and it is cooperative. Right? So in the game, you're going to have cards, and the cards are going to be set up in a form of a story. And as you go through, your 4 different characters have different abilities, and as well as dice that you roll. And depending on what you roll on the dice is what happens. But while you're playing the game, your goal isn't to just kind of go through the motions, but it is to create a story out of it, RPG-esque, right? So you explain what happens, why'd you roll so low. The thing is, it's just very RPG. And what I like about this game is that sometimes when people want to play, I have a lot of friends who say they want to play Dungeons and Dragons, right? But the thing that they don't realize or notice is that in Dungeons and Dragons, it's theater of the mind, right? There isn't really a lot of pictures. The game master describes things to you, and you kind of picture yourself. This kind of brings it back and adds the element of giving someone an image or a picture in their head. So it's a good intro into RPGs, in my opinion. That's how I explain stuff like this. That's the gist of the game. This is this is expanded deluxe edition, so it comes with the expansions and as well as some deluxeified components. This is going to be a game if you also want to bring like kids into an RPG setting. I think this is a great way to start as well. This is going to be the Sibling Trouble Expanded Deluxe Edition by Pencil First Games, coming out to you on April 19th. And we are at the end of the video. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for making it this far, watching a guy who just likes talking about games in the middle of the desert and talking about them weekly about the new games coming to retail. Thank you for watching the video. If you made it this far into the video, I appreciate it. I've said that like 4 times already, I think, at this point. Let me know in the comments below, what game are you picking up this week? Is it one that we mentioned in the video, or is it one that you have been saving up maybe like your money for and you want to buy it this week? I want to know in the comment section below. Let me know, and thank you. Have a good one.